All right, so this is Decent We the People News, okay? This is a little bit shorter version than my last one, just to make it quick and simple, okay? Now he's going to talk about the Indiana Constitution on here, okay? I believe in the Texas Constitution, the closest we can find of what he says about the Indiana Constitution is Article 1, 13 of Texas, okay? Article 1, Section 13. But it doesn't clarify near what he says. So you're going to have to put a side note and ask him and use his words like bear trade and challenge the clerk. Are you telling me that you're not going to give me my equal due process due to I have a lack of species or money or whatever you want to per se on there, right? Justice delayed is justice denied. People sit and think about that. All right. If they were asking money and you don't have the money to pay such claim, then they just delayed your justice and they impeded your rights to due process for your claim. All right. Let's just go make this quick.
So the other morning I did a video on how to bring a claim or to at least start a court case, bringing a claim. So often people want to bring complaints. Complaints are not the way that men get resolve, all right? Men get remedy. Complaints are something corporations file. Men make claim, all right? And it's an important thing to learn. And so anyway, I just want to show you real quick how I structure things to get my paperwork through without being charged for it. Because if you go to the federal court, they'll want $500-$600. Dollars of what? Instead of arguing semantics with these people, just fucking...
That blur was his camera, not mine.
Lay it out for them, all right? As you know, it's better to have brass balls than no fucking balls at all. I do everything that I tell people to do. I go in there and all
right, this is a man of men, right? There's going to be colorful words out there that may or may not hurt your feelings. All right, so this is the disclosure, okay? You must be age of majority. Or, if you're a person, a man's age of majority, a person is an adult. So you may have to be an adult to be able to listen to these words he speaks of. All right.
Test it first because I know ultimately they're going to test me. So, for example, when I was at the Indiana Federal District Court, I brought something in similar to this. I shared it with you guys, probably a year ago. And I just want to show you guys how easy it is to actually bring a claim. Now, the reason that I do it in this format is because I want this right here. I want a docket number. I want a case number, okay? Before I go any further, the only thing I care about is right here. And I don't have that yet, okay? And so this is how I do it. The American Badass, Constitutional Lane, Glendale, 685, whatever. This is your address up here, all right? Your number, 308-555-1776. Swinging Tyrants since 1765 at gmail.com, all right? This is, again, just for educational purposes. Is none of this information I actually use. You would put your own information there, okay? It's always important to have all your contact details. If you have a fax, if you have other information that you can provide, do so. Okay, it only benefits you. That way these people don't say they didn't have a means or a way of connecting with you when you serve them through a private administrative process, okay? Of course, you're going to have the court's name, all right? And then you're going to go in here and this is going to be the American Badass. That's actually going to be your name. And I convert it to upper lowercase, so it's proper format. And then, of course, instead of being a plaintiff or petitioner, okay, I'm the claimant because I'm a man making a claim, period, versus the wrongdoer, okay? John Doe Smith in this case is going to be the wrongdoer. We've identified the moving party, okay, and the wrongdoer who trespass, okay? And this is going to be a claim. Very simple. This court has jurisdiction pursuant to Title 28, 1331, because I'm moving in the federal courts that deal with constitutional issues, All right. So I like to take it to the federal. Other people say you get more latitude being in the state. Well, I've seen the state run people over left and right in 6 ways from fucking Sunday. But I know one thing's for certain: the federal court deals with constitutional fucking issues, deprivations of rights under color of law, 1983, 1985, 1986. All those suits typically are found here. All right. Now, here's the trick. It's 7 beautiful words. I claim harm by way of trespass. That is the only thing that needs to be stated on this paper to get this docket number right here. But if you're like me and you want to push the envelope because you're tired of fucking people pissing on your back convincing you that it's raining, I throw in this nice little ditty right out of the Constitution. Okay? This happens to be for the Constitution of Indiana. It says, all courts shall be open and every man for injury done to him in his person, property, or reputation shall have remedy by due course of law, due process. Justice shall be administered what? Freely. So when the clerk of the court's telling you that'll be $500, I tell him to kick rocks. You better run this up the chain of command, because that's extortion. It's also baratray. And I'm not hesitant to bring a claim against you for trying to extort me. But, again, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights. This, again, will lend to the jurisdiction that you will enter into, because they'll realize that you're not your average fucking nummy, all right? And without purchase, which means I don't have to purchase fucking justice, motherfuckers. You'll give me a docket number because that's your fucking job and that's what you get paid to do. Not make legal determinations. You get paid to follow the fucking Constitution. Now, you won't really have those issues in a federal venue, okay? They're going to look at what you did and they're going to go, yep, give him his docket number, all right? And I went tooth and nail, fist to fucking cuffs at the district.
We're going to pause there for a second. Now, understand this for some of y'all out there that's in Texas. Our Constitution does not define this clearly like this. Okay? Closest one I found, and I believe it's Article 1, Section 13. Okay? On a separate paper, keep on hand beside you. All right? And you to tell the clerk, are you making legal determination? What species are you asking? And if I do not have these species you're asking you for, are you denying me of due process? Due to I am too poor to get due process. Okay? They're going to say is fill out forms and all this kind of stuff. And I just would challenge that as well. Okay? And if you do fill out the forms, I would just, they want your whole freaking life story on these forms, I believe. I have never really looked at one. But they do. And it's like, no, you're misunderstanding the situation here. I'm a man using my courts. You're assuming I'm a person under corporate privilege jurisdiction. Okay? And you must speak these words to them. And they're going to send you to a higher clerk and all that kind of stuff. And if they say, oh, great, then you can start making claims against the clerk for denying your due process. Right? Justice delayed, justice denied, over money. Y'all. So they're saying a man under the bridge has no rights to due process. Okay? So then think about that. The rich can afford these courts, but the man under the bridge cannot have any due process. Just saying. Think about it.
Indiana, and it didn't take me but about 5 fucking seconds, and the guy sitting there taking the documentation, he goes, let me just go back and talk to my boss. He's going back to talk to the head clerk. You know what the head clerk told him? Give him his fucking docket number. Completely, without denial, speedily, which means don't hesitate, right? Justice shall be swift. Nobody should be impeding justice. If I'm making a claim, that's exactly what government was instituted amongst men for, was to settle and resolve disputes, especially when there's a claimant claiming an injury from a wrong that has occurred, and without delay. All right, so that's what I put on my first document. And then I date it, of course, all right? And then I sign it, and again, I put all the addresses and information for myself, all right? This is how simple it is to bring a claim. I'm going to scroll through it nice and slow. You can pause your screen at any time when you replay this, and you can understand exactly how to bring a claim. And again, the reason that I'm bringing it this way is to get this docket number, okay? And this just starts out, I claim harm by way of trespass. Okay, it lets them know that it's a common law claim. All right, and I'm just simply looking for a docket number at this point. The next document that I will...
All right, just a quick update. All right, ordinance is a bylaw. Okay, they do not override the state constitution. The state constitution says for the county to take your land, there must be a due process. They don't get to come over and slap a lien on something, confiscate your whole land, and get $7,000 debt, sell it for $100,000, and they don't get to reverse you of what's left of that $100,000. They have a tendency to sell the land for $7,000 just to get their money back. But the value of the land is much more than that. Just saying. They confiscated your land, most likely without the due process. 90% of them do that.
Create will actually be my claim, where I will lay out the counts, what happened, trespass by way of battery, assault, false imprisonment, and those will all be individual counts. Remember, we're talking about bills of particular, okay? And when I do my bills of particular, I will also state in here what the sum certain is that I'm looking for remedy, okay? But that's for another day. Anyway, this is how you can get your docket number. 7 simple words that make a very clear statement right there. That's all you really need. All this other stuff could be done away with, but in doing so, you're going to end up with a fight with the clerk of the court who's going to want to charge you $600 in the interest of justice. So I just remove that and say, aren't we all bound by the Constitution? And they'll say, yes. Great. Can you explain Article 1, Section 12 of the Indiana Constitution and how it doesn't apply to this situation right here? And that it should be freely administered and without purchase completely? Can you just explain to me your rational way of thinking where you think you're going to charge me $600 or permissible units of something you yourself can't even fucking legally define? They will turn around without any argument and they will issue you a docket number, okay? And once you have your docket number, then you can go ahead and structure your claim. That's where you're going to lay out the wrongdoer, what he did, and you're going to itemize it. You know, if it was false imprisonment, trespass by way of bearer tray, or trespass by way of assault and battery, theft, robbery, whatever your counts are, okay? So just wanted to share that with you because a lot of people were upset I took it down the other day. That is literally how simple it is to make a claim, okay, to at least get your docket number. After that, then you will go in and you will actually make your statements of facts and your counts, what you're alleging. But this is enough to get that process rolling. And the reason I do it again, I want the docket number. So when I put my actual claim together, I have a docket number to reference. Then we'll take it back to the court. They'll sign off on it. It'll get sealed, okay? And then I will include this along with my statement of facts that I will send to the wrongdoer, all right? And in the state of Indiana, they have 21 days to rebut or rebuke it. Or I can file for what is known as a default judgment, okay? Now, the state of Indiana is different in the aspect that in other states, it requires you to give a notice of fault and a notice of default, which is due process of law. In Indiana, they kind of expedite it by telling the wrongdoer, you have 21 days to dispute this, to put your pleadings in, or we're forced to issue a default judgment. All right. Now, default judgments are kind of cool, but there's a lot of things that are wrong with them, especially in Indiana. They favor the delinquent, the one who doesn't respond necessarily, even though they acquiesce. They give them the benefit of.
What they did is silence or acquiescence and tacit agree to your terms. And you may want to put these in your default judgment. All right. They silence or acquiescence and they agreed to my terms.
The doubt, and they give them a year to challenge it. All right. So with that said, this is just a way to get your docket number. Okay. And this is a way to make sure that you're not extorted for justice. Now, you'll have to go to your state constitution and find yours. It might not be Article 1, Section 12. It could be Article 1, Section 8 or Article 1, Section 6. You're just going to have to go look for it. But it will say something to this effect. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I hope this helps you out. Once again.
Don't know about a whole lot about other states, a little bit. But this state of Texas is not like all the other states. It does not clearly establish this. So you need to stay on top of your game with this type of claim. All right? But do what I said a little bit ago, right? Write it on a separate sheet. You directly ask the questions to the clerk. And if they delayed it, now you're going to file a claim on the clerk. Okay?
And we're just going to scroll through it nice and slow. You can pause this at any point and write it down. Again, the most important part of it is this right here. That's how you get your docket number. 7 words. 7 words. And the fact that you're making a claim, okay? It's not a complaint. It's a claim. You're claiming harm by way of trespass, all right? So thanks for joining me. Hope this helps you.
Alrighty, let's go back right there. As you can tell, I kind of did a little bit of this and this and this. Next one I'm going to do here in a second is this one right here, just to give you guys information more about him, okay? So do so with the People News. Till next time, bye y'all.